Welcome to MarcusG.TV. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. I'm a chef on a mission. And Jamie, there was a request for you to be on the video, for your voice to be here. There was a request the other day. Somebody left a comment and said, "Where's Jamie?"
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I haven't been on in a while.
I haven't.
Maybe one day I'll even be on the other side with you.
So, you went to I want to talk today about how chefs just, they cook unhealthy food, and that's what they do, and they don't think anything of it. When you go out to a restaurant,
oh, and they make you feel bad. I think sometimes they make you feel bad that you don't eat a certain way, or you have questions about what the ingredients are.
Like, why can't you eat that? It's only butter, it's only sugar, right? It's only sugar.
Right.
So you went to a cooking party the other day. You went to this Thai cooking party in Atlantic City. And talk about your experience there. Nice menu. Pad Thai with shrimp.
I was super excited about going to cook Thai food because I've never really cooked Thai food before. So I was excited. I wasn't excited about, actually doing the cooking.
About working,
About working, because, I get one day off every so often, or one Saturday off every so often, and here we are in a cooking class. But the cooking class itself was exciting, and people looked at me like, oh, you probably know what to do. You know how to cut. You know how to do this. It was very basic, very elementary. But the food portion of it, I was excited about. So, of course, we didn't know the menu ahead of time. We knew that they did send out some of the things that we were making, but we didn't know everything. And of course.
So what's the shocking part here? I mean, what kind of ingredients were they using?
So I was quite shocked that there was tons of sugar in everything we made.
Everything.
Everything. And
sauces, everything.
Everything had sugar in it. And the other surprising thing was, it wasn't like, I don't eat meat, I don't eat chicken, I don't eat eggs. And when I told the chef that I don't eat chicken or meat, or eggs, he was kind of like, really? Like, what if it's touching it? What if it's, okay, well, we'll try to eliminate it, is basically what he said. So I was a little taken aback by that they don't have any requests for people who have dietary needs. There was another girl in there who couldn't eat shrimp, and there was two dishes that actually had shrimp in it. But nobody else out of the 14 of us had any issue eating any of the food. Nobody even questioned it.
But when you ask people, they want to eat healthy, right?
Of course. They actually said, oh, we love Thai food because it's so healthy for you. And as we were doing the ingredients, of course, we never saw the ingredient list until after we made everything. So we never actually put sugar in anything. Those sauces were already pre-made.
They were pre-made.
So we never saw the sauces. We cut we made spring rolls. So we diced up the garlic that went in there, and then we, I think there was garlic in there, and we cut up the scallions, and so it was very, everything was set for you.
And you just did the small work, and he had the big stuff, like a cooking show.
Exactly.
They do the small work, and they turn around and pull everything out of the oven and cook.
And he brought us trays with everything on it that needed to be done.
So the famous Thai tea, I was shocked in the famous Thai tea, a quart of tea and a cup and a quarter of sugar.
Yeah, we didn't actually make it, nor did we even get it.
That's what's in the recipe.
But I couldn't believe that as well.
That's how much sugar, and we used to drink Thai tea when we lived in Colorado years ago, 15 years ago. We used to love it. That's how much sugar is in that.
Well, that would explain why we were very unhealthy.
Very unhealthy and overweight back then.
One of the things in here that really surprised me was the pad Thai with shrimp. I think that was the dish that actually kind of surprised me.
And that was sugared as well. That was loaded with sugar.
That was loaded with sugar. Oh, and the soup. So I don't know how to say it, Tom Kai Gai.
Okay.
It was a soup, but it was a creamy chicken soup is what it's called. But I was just surprised that, and I guess because it's a chicken soup, they're going to put chicken stock in it. But there was no option to make it without chicken stock.
Without chicken stock.
So it wasn't even like he could say to me, okay, well, here's some vegetable stock. So that dish I couldn't even eat at all. Because there was no option to use vegetable stock.
So the point of this video, and the point of your experience, and my experience as a chef and restaurateur, is that chefs that sugar is their fallback. Fat's their fallback.
Well, because it tastes good, so people are going to come back for more.
Salt is their fallback, and frying things is their fallback. It's like they don't know how to take real ingredients with real flavors and make them taste good. Sure, we own sugar, we own evaporated coconut sap, and we own maple syrup, and we own agave, but we use it on a very rare basis for savory food.
Right.
We use it for desserts, and we use it, I mean, if you taste our desserts aren't sugared out and sweetened out like a lot of desserts are. I mean, you go to places and people eat these chocolate cakes, these cheesecakes, everything, it's just pure sugar.
Well, there was one other thing that I forgot to mention was we made spring rolls. And this was the part that really blew me away. I already told him, the chef, that I don't eat eggs, and I don't eat chicken, and I don't eat meat. And so we're wrapping the spring rolls, and of course he wants you to put an egg batter around the edges
to seal it
and to close it. And I, of course, was using water because to me, you know what? It's probably going to stick as well, or I mean, you're frying it anyway. So what was the difference at that point? So once you fry it, it's going to stick together.
Chefs like eggs to adhere to things. You know, we're taught in culinary school that eggs have many purposes. And so eggs go into things not for flavor, not to put the egg in, but to bind things as a binder in sauces like custard sauces. I mean, even stuffings are loaded with eggs because it cooks and binds. Meatballs, meatloaf, all these things are loaded with eggs as a binder. And then eggs are also a leavener, and eggs are also a sealer. So egg rolls, spring rolls, all that is sealed with eggs.
I was using water, and of course he saw me using water, and he comes over and he goes, what did he say to me? He goes, well, how are you going to seal it? It's not going to seal, because I rolled them, and they were nice. They weren't super tight, but I probably could have gotten them tighter. And he goes, well, it's not going to seal. You mean you're not going to use the egg? And I said, but I don't eat egg. And he was like, but why? Like, basically like, well, you should.
You should.
And I was like, but I don't. He goes, it's just a little bit. And I was like, but I don't eat egg. Like, just because it's just a little bit doesn't mean that I want it.
Right, just right. And see, and this is where when you go to restaurants and you tell people I'm allergic to this, or I don't eat this, or I don't eat that, they don't think much of it because they're just used to putting in all the food, and they view it as, oh, it's just a little, right? I mean, how many times have we gone to a restaurant and ordered a soup and we say,
taste it,
and there's chicken stock in here. Oh, well, there's just a little.
But it doesn't matter. We don't eat it.
It's just the broth.
Right.
I mean,
so he ended up going and getting cornstarch for me and mixing it with water and using that. And you know what? It stuck just the same as everybody else.
So arrowroot would have been my first preference.
Actually, it was arrowroot.
Okay,
I think it was cornstarch or arrowroot.
Okay, arrowroot my first starch.
I think he said it was cornstarch. He used cornstarch because I thought cornstarch. Why not arrowroot? But
well, because arrowroot's 5 times, 10 times the price, and cornstarch is cheap. So that's.
But he did make it, the egg rolls, the spring rolls did have pork in it, and he did make me. And one other girl, because one other girl didn't do pork, he did make us a vegetarian option.
Vegetarian. So, you know, one of the things that I noticed, because I helped a friend open a Thai restaurant back in, 98, Jamie, it was?
A while ago.
And there's a big vat of water sitting in the middle, and it cooks all day long. And what they do is they throw their chicken scraps in there, they throw all their meat scraps in there, but all the dishes at this restaurant, the vegetables, even the vegetarian dishes, you have a colander that's sticking in this water, in this pot of water that's simmering all day with all kinds of animal products going into it, and that's how you cook your vegetables. So your vegetarian dishes are getting dunked into a light chicken stock and then getting put into the vegetable curries, the vegetable dishes. And, you know, but this is how we're taught as chefs.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't thinking.
Chefs are taught that we have to make mother sauces, we have to make stocks, we have to make these foundational things, and, you know, and eggs and sugar and all this is just part of cooking meals. And at our restaurant, we don't do any of that. We've never made a mother sauce here. We don't make stocks in the traditional manner. We'll make lobster stock, we will make chicken stock, but we don't put it in everything because our goal is to say to everybody, taste how good food can be without all the animal products. Please the vegetarians and reduce the animal products that we're using to begin with, because it's a detriment on our environment. It taxes our environment. With this water situation in California now, 98% of California is in a drought, and beef from California takes like 4,000 gallons per pound to make beef. So it's like, well, how can we save water? Let's, you know, cut back our showers and things like that. No, eat less beef, eat less things that are using all the water.
Right.
And, you know, and that dairy cattle, they use a lot of water. So also, you know, it's an environmental thing for us too. But, you know, it's just when new chefs come into our restaurant to work, they're like, I've never, you know, cooked like this. I've never not right. And where's all the butter and all this kind of stuff? And you don't need it. And chefs are trained, and it's just a fallback for them, and it's just part of their repertoire. And if you took away their butter, their salt, their sugar, especially their sugar, because chefs keep sugar on the line with salt and pepper, and they sugar things. Something tastes a little too bitter. It's like, no, take the tomato and figure out how to get the tomato sweeter naturally, not by adding sugar to it. And it's just sugar, and everything that drives me crazy.
I was quite shocked at that. Every recipe pretty much had sugar.
I had sugar. And it's Thai food, but every cuisine.
And I'm thinking that I'm eating healthy.
Right. And a lot of cuisines are like that. Now, we have a good palate because we can taste the sweetness in things. I can taste something and I know right away that they put sugar in it, and it happens a lot. So, don't be afraid to ask when you go out.
But ask specific questions. You can't say what's in this because they might leave out that
They might leave out because of them what's in it is their basic stuff. Like, So you do have to be very specific. So, I'm watching my sugar. I recommend taking business cards, making yourself business cards, and just printing them on your computer and saying, I have special dietary requirements. Here's what I'm avoiding. If call ahead of time. It's a good thing to call ahead of time so you're not asking the waitress 4 or 5 questions. She goes back and forth, especially on a busy Friday or Saturday night. So even call the chef ahead of time and say I have special dietary requirements. Want to know if you can satisfy us. But in the meantime, at least speak up and say you don't appreciate the food being sugared and all this, because sugar. We buy so little sugar at the restaurant, so little sweeteners, but most restaurants just buy a ton of sugar. A ton of sugar. It's like it's just part of cooking. It's like putting onions and garlic in something. There goes the sugar right on in it. It's just like, taste it. Oh, what does it need? It needs sugar. So I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Thanks for watching this video, and of course, Jamie.
Thank you.
If you like our video, our channel, please subscribe to our channel. Shoot us an email if you have any questions, and definitely check out my other websites like truthandmenu.com, which is foodfraudtv.com, 50mistakes.com, which is a cyber consulting website for restaurants and all other types of businesses, and definitely my No Farmed Salmon website. I will make you look different than farmed salmon. Thanks for watching this video, and until next time.